question number one. If someone is considering working with you, what can they expect from the experience?
So I think the most obvious thing to expect is that you're now going to have a thought partner and you're going to have a regular series of conversations with me. Typically, they're going to be on the phone, on your cell phone, and I will just be calling you. For many people, it'll be a weekly cadence, a weekly rhythm. It often starts more frequently as we get to know each other. And over time, what people have mainly shared with me is that, most leaders are going through their day in kind of a state of one chaotic fire after another, putting out fires or dealing with issues or having multiple decisions they have to make. So there's a level of intensity about it. And often getting on the phone with me is this opportunity to just stop and process their thoughts. And usually they come on kind of with a high level of anxiety, maybe, or even frustration or discombobulation. But then throughout the conversation, they start feeling calmer. And then they start getting more mental clarity. Everything they're thinking about sort of sorts out in their minds. And they always tell me that they sort of leave with a sense of clarity and knowing what their next step is going to be. So it's almost like a dose of grounding.
I have actually experienced that myself working with you, Coach Nahid. So
That tells me I'm on point. You can't always know for sure what other people are experiencing when they're with you.
that's true. How would you describe your coaching style or the vibe in a session?
Yeah, well, and that goes along with the same thing, right? So it's very hard to know how other people are experiencing you. And that's one of the main things that we talk about in leadership is sometimes we assume people are having an experience with us and they actually are having a completely different experience with us. But what people have told me is that it's a calming experience. Consistently, clients who've actually told me what they feel or expressed that to me have said, I need my dose of calm. Or they'll say that they feel really accepted, not judged. Like there's finally a space where they can be themselves and say anything. And I would say that's probably true because I usually am fascinated by what people share. And I usually don't ever think there's anything weird about what they share because I think I've seen and heard a lot.
That makes sense. It's a safe place, right?
Yeah, I don't think you can fake non judgment. So I think maybe the thing that comes through is that I really am not judging people because I really am very curious, and anything that someone is going through or doing, I always know that there's something behind it. And so I tend to approach with curiosity. It's like, great, this thing is happening that you may feel is horrible, or you may be worrying that I'm going to judge you about. But in my opinion, there's a reason it's happening. Let's get curious together. That's what our job is together. So I think that safety is unusual. And I think that's why people maybe notice it because they're surprised.
I have two thoughts on that. One is that authenticity is you can discern if somebody's being authentic or if they're just faking it, and you are as authentic as they come. I also remember years ago you telling me that every person was like an unread book, and just getting to know them is like reading a new novel. And you definitely have that curiosity about you, and I love that.
Yeah, that actually is something about me that I wonder about sometimes because as I was growing up as a kid, I would always lose myself in books. And for me, I almost can't watch movies because they're too intense for me. Because when I read a book, I actually feel like I'm in that world with those characters, maybe floating along beside them or as part of the group as they go on their hero's journey. But they actually feel like friends. And so I am immersed in that world. And sometimes stopping reading is a disorienting experience because I feel like I'm jumping out of the world of the book. And that's almost sometimes how I feel with my clients in that as they're telling me about what they're doing, I'm imagining myself in their shoes, and I'm sort of getting that privilege of doing the cool things they're doing in their job, which I would never do because that's not my job. And so I get to experience it, and I'm that immersed in their experience, not losing sight of perspective and the fact that I have a different perspective that I can share. So I've got that 360 view, but I really am interested. It's a great privilege to be able to have someone share their experience with me. And I think that's different than just being a good listener.